Welcome to the FullColor Dynamics Podcast, Episode 4. Today I'm joined by...
Javi.
Martin.
Fusion dance
Martin,
now.
And I am Javi.
Thanks.
There we go.
Okay, so we just finished watching...
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Crimes of Grindelwald. Martin's going to give us his opinions, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion on our experience watching it and what we thought after having our maybe 3rd or 10th viewing of the film.
You guys?
Yeah.
You guys apparently hate it so much, but you guys have watched it.
Okay, no, wait.
It's an easy movie to binge watch.
Ken hates it so much. I want to resent it because I feel like it twisted the story and then put it on the floor, stepped on and shot it. Everyone's like, where do I stay now? So, like, my issue is I felt there was too many origin stories crammed, and they were not only half-assed, but they were like, just put in your face. They wanted it to happen, it just didn't work. Not for me,
okay.
you know.
Right.
So just starting off, I love the very first.
So,
I love the very first part, but I love the first
I don't
half.
mean to interrupt you, but I do see how you say that there was just too much. Like, there was too many characters for not enough character development for all the characters to come into fruition throughout the film.
So in the first one, it was like Queenie, Tina, and you had Jacob and Newt. So you had 4, you know, and then you kind of had other characters, you know, okay, this is like the president, this is like the guy that's just kind of getting involved with Credence, Credence is a thing, but you get more of like the main 4 characters, and then like the bond that they're building throughout the movie. And here, so we'll just start off with Credence and Nagini. When you're introduced to Nagini, he walks up to her room, which looks like a jail cell, and he's like, Nagini, and my first reaction was like, oh fuck. Like, this was like her introduction. Like, he just goes straight to her. It's like Nagini, and I was like, please don't make it about her hanging over his arm and needing him. Maybe she didn't particularly need him, but she was like almost dragged along by him because of him, and there was no independent like part of her that I was like, you know, this is badass, but you really don't even get to know who she is.
Not only that, but I kind of feel like one thing that kind of throughout the whole film, Credence just kind of like popped out in places, and you kind of were like, how, like why?
Yeah.
How did he end up in Paris in that circus? How did he meet Nagini?
And also, the one when he went to, I think you guys might know because I actually forgot. How did he go to meet? What was she?
The servant, the one that.
Yeah. Oh, the half-elf lady?
Yeah, the half-elf lady. Like, how did he even know where she was?
Yeah, exactly. The first scene that we get is him with the paper saying,
I think
she's alive or something.
I think Grindelwald might have filled it out.
Yeah, I think so. I think like Grindelwald like gave him a piece of paper with like an address to go to. With like an address to go to. And that's how he knew where to find her.
So like I might have mentioned, but the whole movie was a cat and mouse. Like, Grindelwald was gonna do. I mean, in the end, he set up this whole meeting, and it was a setup so he could like kind of bait the Ministry into like killing someone and like killing someone like back and forth. So he set this whole thing up to get Credence to kind of follow some clues about what he needed or wanted to know about his family, so he can kind of figure out who he was, and everybody else was following that, and that was just kind of poorly set up for me. Like, it was a little too obvious. Like, throughout the whole movie they were like, oh, he's just setting guys up, he's setting guys up, he's setting guys up, and at the same time they're trying to cram in these origin stories, and I'm just not having any of it. But for sure, the very beginning of the movie when he breaks out was dope.
Yeah, for sure.
That was I think the best scene, and it was so good. It's very well made. I don't know when they did the switch when between that other guy he probably drank Polyjuice potion to turn into Grindelwald, and then he goes after them and like he's just kind of casting at them while he's guiding the Thestrals on the carriage. But I didn't really feel any of it, and I feel resentment that. I mean, I feel Nagini's origin story should have been much better, and I understand this is a snapshot of a piece of her life, but like that, I think that was just poor. I don't know.
I feel like she shouldn't even been in the movie in the first place.
Yeah, same here.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly.
There's no reason why she needed to be there. You could have cut her out completely and nothing would have been lost.
I
see that. For sure.
Well, because she was an impactful, and I feel.
Also, the story between Jacob and Queenie, I didn't think they
contributed that.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
They
didn't contribute at all to the
plot.
Well,
a little bit, because remember when they show up, Queenie drops the letter that she's impaired. That
okay, well, yeah, impaired. But they could have done that a different way.
Not just that, but they destroyed the entire relationship.
Yeah.
Which was my favorite part out of, like...
I feel like they were the sweet relationship.
They destroyed both relationships.
Wait,
up to the point where, like, they finally get back together.
But I think that was the point, like, in the first movie, like, Queenie's and Jacob's relationship was, like, the sweet one. You were like, aw. And then this time it's, like, they built it up so it would be, like, Newt's and Tina's, which is what I liked.
But they could have just...
But they could have just continue with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they kind of butchered one in the process to make the other one... But it was unnecessary too.
Yeah,
no, but like everything was unnecessary. Like the whole like, oh, I thought you were getting engaged to somebody else. Like
I kind of like that. No, totally, because it would be something dumb that happens to Newt, and Tina would get hurt by it. You know, I can't.
I could totally see that actually happening. Like a newspaper getting someone's marriage,
for sure,
some famous person's marriage, like completely wrong.
Especially because it was like his brother. You know, like
jealousy,
that's too coincidental. Like
I'm jealous as fuck. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course, if I saw that shit, I'd be like, what the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you didn't even see the relationship start, like quote unquote start at the end of the last film. Not really. Like,
yeah, you totally like. No, you like that awkwardness that obviously like Newt is like super socially awkward.
Yeah, but
so not only did he not know what to do when he was saying bye to her.
Yeah.
But like you knew that he was gonna carry on.
That's like not
what
even.
Am I gonna say to her
that's
when
like
I see
step
her?
0.5. It's not even step 1.
But so that's why.
And like, and they didn't even make it a step 1, and they already have a wrench. In
it wasn't a wrench. That was meant to show that they both had feelings for each other, and not only did that she was upset over it, but that he was like, you know, I need to find a way to reconcile the relationship just as a base, and then see if she likes me, which is obvious because she was upset about it.
No, it was contrived.
No,
it was unnecessary. They could have just started with like them having a relationship already and going from there.
Like, already having a relationship, you're complaining about the first movie not having any context to
what?
Having a relationship.
Yeah, I'm upset because like not only do they not have a relationship, but in this movie it starts off with them like already having almost like have problems and almost borderlining breaking up even. And I don't even think they've even kissed at that point.
No,
it's like no.
I don't know. What do you think, Martin?
I don't know.
I mean, Queenie was about to marry the other guy.
Queenie?
Yeah.
Queenie was about to marry Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, because of the enchantment, yeah, but I didn't think they were actually going to get married.
No,
I thought that was a little silly.
Yeah. That was pretty funny, though.
I mean,
it was funny, like his reactions and stuff, but just generally the whole thing was pretty silly. I don't know. Like, I do feel like her fit in the beginning was a little dumb.
It was kind of
Yeah, like
her outfit? No, her fit. Like when she got mad, she's like, "You mean crazy?" And he's like, "I didn't mean it." She's like, "Yeah, you did." And then like goes away to find her sister. I'm just like, do you guys really have no form of communication to finding each other? Like,
not just that, but like, she drugged him.
Yeah, she did drug him. But it's like he's already in love with her, and then she made him in love with him. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
that's why he says, I don't need him. Like, I'm already enchanted.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I feel like that was a recovery, but I would have been a little like, okay, like I get it, but what the fuck?
Also, I never saw her doing that kind of thing. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That was a little.
I feel like she seemed like the type
to roofie him.
Roofie him. Magical roofie.
I don't know. That was a little off for me.
But what did you think about the plot twist at the end?
That he is a Dumbledore?
Yeah,
Credence is a Dumbledore?
Yeah, the Credence is a Dumbledore.
I actually really like that, to be honest with you, because me and Javi were talking during the middle of the movie about if I had heard any of Albus's coming up, like his origin and stuff like that, and I told him that they hinted it in the previous movies. So.
Yeah, they hinted at Credence?
No, not Credence, but of like his sisters and how his search for power.
Yeah.
Kind of like turned him away from his family, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember his sister's name, but that's how Aberforth kind of became very bitter about like because of the sister's death becoming obscurus and all that.
When I first saw the plot twist, I was impressed, but like looking back on it, I just hate the fact that it was like a retcon in a sense.
Really? Yeah. I mean, you know what I have to say is I did see it coming from like mid movie. I was like I think in the theater I turned at Kenny. I was like, "Don't tell me he's a fucking Dumbledore."
So I will say that I said the same thing in my head, but I didn't want to think that.
Like you didn't want to not like it?
No, I didn't want to like be that. I guess convinced that he was, and I didn't want it to be that easy.
It's because it was kind of in your face, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I meant. Like I didn't want it to be that easy.
But it was.
You know? Then like at the end, it was kind of like, okay, well,
this is the thing.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I still enjoyed it. I did. Even though I kind of like saw it coming, I was like, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then he did that spell right at the end where he like, destroyed everything, and then I was like, okay, well, I think that's a little over the top. First of all,
like
he doesn't even know. That's the first time that he has a wand.
And then randomly, like, that wand is his. That also, like, kind of bugged me a little bit. Because I'm very attached to the whole, like, the wand chooses the wizard Potter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Like, he just handed him the wand and then, ha ha! Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not having any of that. Almost, right? And they were in France. Actually, I don't know if they were in France in that part. It was funny.
I think they were in
Austria. What was the part with Queenie where we were laughing when she's talking to Grindelwald's like lover, I guess? Oh man, I'm in love with that woman. But where she's like, I can't tell if you're.
Oh, I can't tell if you're joking around or if you're, and then she like does like a side like French.
If you're just French.
Yeah. And like it kind of like gave me like a stereotypical like French, all like mysterious and aloof, and just kind of like you don't know if they're joking around.
Yeah, because like, what did she say? Deeply like, devoted or something?
Yeah, no. She says she's like, I think I'm gonna go, and then she's all like, but you haven't met your host, and then Queenie asked her, oh, are you married? And then she says, well, let's say deeply committed.
Oh, deeply committed. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. That was just so off. Like, it has like a little following, and then like someone who's trying to express the commitment to it, and then they have Queenie. Like, it just didn't make sense, you know.
Queenie, I think, had no business there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, it made no sense. Like, she ran, like, everything was set up so like Queenie ended up on the street, like, kind of having a mental breakdown, and then she happened to find her. Like, really, you know.
In a sense, I kind of feel like maybe it was justified for the sole fact that she joined him at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of...
You know what? I think Martin's right. I think somebody said, let's make Queenie join Grindelwald in the writing room. And everything after that was just trying to force her into that.
Yeah.
So,
and it just didn't feel natural.
I think that's what I told you in the last episode. I do feel like this plot is forced upon you. Like,
yes, it is very forced.
Yeah, like you're like I can't tell if I like it or not, but the fact that it's forced makes me not want to like it.
Like, let's have Nagini in there, and that's it.
Yeah, like, oh, this will be kind of like a shock factor, and it totally was the opposite. Like, it was such a dud.
And then, I actually really like that whole scene, where he's talking in the middle of everyone.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of like, the ministry's there to help bring him in, but then it all kind of turns back on them, because he shows everyone that's there that he's not the villain.
Yeah.
The ministry is trigger happy. They just kill just to kill.
And I know I told you guys about this, and I don't know if anybody else caught this, but like when the woman draws her wand to the guy who's from the ministry, it kind of looks like Grindelwald's like kind of doing magic and like rolling his eyes.
Like he does something weird with his
eyes. Yeah, it almost looks like he's trying, like he's the one that like provoked. Yeah, and when he like killed her, it was like
everyone was like,
it was a big setup. Like you see, this is what they're doing, and it almost fit too well, you know.
I just thought of Frieza.
Why? Oh, when he kills Broly's dad.
Yeah. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
I actually still haven't even seen the Broly movie.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, honestly.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Yeah, but God, that's hilarious. And then the Niffler kind of walks in. I kind of was worried when they brought the baby Nifflers into the scene in the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah, because you thought like the baby Nifflers were just gonna go all over them.
Yeah, like mayhem, but it was like in the last episode we said they were almost a mascot of the first movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, please, for the love of God, don't overdo it in this movie.
Yeah.
You know?
But they didn't.
No, that's right. So it was like, I kind of like that, like, they had the Niffler, like, steal that piece from him at that moment. It was like, okay, like, they did something, you know?
It's right. The right amount of Niffler.
Yeah.
But honestly, at the end, I'm a lot happier with the movie than, I guess, some other people. I guess, 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3. I mean, I have to stay in the middle just because I love the Wizarding World, but I really didn't like it. Like there was just I feel like not robbed, but it's like I got spoiled food in the. Yeah, or like just some edges, but it was like enough for me
maybe not spoiled food, but like you got cafeteria food.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and you're being spoon fed.
Yeah. But what else? Who else was?
The Nicholas Flamel part was.
Oh yeah, what'd you think about?
Nicholas Flamel was a good surprise, I would say, but I kind of knew exactly who he was right when he came out.
I think that was the point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they wanted to make him mysterious. Like, he suited the role so well that when you see him, you're like, oh no way. You know?
And actually, I kind of like enjoyed the fact that they made him like alive, but he's like super brittle because like he's
was
immortal.
It Jacob the one that kept
like trying to shake his hand.
Yeah,
like, ow. Like he's super brittle, so like they made him not stop aging, but he's immortal essentially.
I do have the question of I think he opens the book and they're the ones telling him to go.
Yeah, who is
that?
Yeah,
I was wondering that too. Like when that came out, I didn't look deep in. Obviously, I didn't look at it at all. But I saw it and I was like, what?
That almost looked like Madam President.
Was it?
Well,
I don't remember.
I don't think he was Madam President.
I guess I'm kind of just fitting her face on that.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know who that was. I think if there's something I have to Google, it's probably who the heck was in the book and what the heck the book was.
Yeah. Like I kind of have a feeling it'll be like the paintings in Hogwarts, how like those like souls. Or,
is that scene almost like, I don't know if you guys have played Destiny.
Yeah.
But The Stranger, where she just comes in out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, almost
out of context, and she's telling you where to go. She's like, where did she come from?
Yeah.
And then like, what are you doing here? Like, I don't have time to explain why I don't have time.
Just do what I say. Yeah, almost.
Like, okay.
But there's always, I feel like that's kind of a cop-out character that sometimes storylines use.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like I think.
Well, I mean, what other movie besides?
I can't recall right now, but what I was gonna say is like, I kind of wish that Flamel would have done it on his own accord.
Yeah,
like,
some autonomy would have been cool.
Yeah, but
kind of like knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he already had like a crystal ball, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He could have been like, cool.
And they're just gonna
be in
danger, stone, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. He opens the cabinet and the stone's chilling, and he takes out a book, and that from that book.
It would have been cool if like the stone, like if he would have wear it or something, would return him to.
I thought that's what was gonna happen. I thought he was gonna take out the stone, and he was just gonna like revive like his whole being for like a little bit. With it.
Or like
maybe that might have been the cool like.
Or maybe he has to till like the end of the wand, and it's just like.
Okay. Oh, imagine if he's the end of the wand. Did you like how Newt's wand like kind of like does the
ears when the Niffler part where we were talking about it. He's listening to
the circus.
Yeah, it's kind of like in Assassin's Creed when Ezio uses that, and he could like see what happened.
Mm-hmm. It was
or good. Even in the Division also they have the echoes where they could like read what happened in the past in that certain area depending on who you're looking for. Yeah, kind of like that. He used his wand to kind of listen to.
I do like when wands kind of have that like the flair to it. You know what I mean?
Little powers.
Yeah, just like the carnival dude. He had his staff, but then he hid it on the ground, and it turned into his wand. And I thought that the crystal ball at the top was the bottom of his wand, but it was actually the top.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So he was like casting his magic to like put the circus into his car, that little ball was like glowing.
Oh, I want to see that again.
Yeah, that was a really good scene, honestly. I just like the circus. I think there could have been a lot more to explore.
Yeah,
and it was like not.
I mean, it's a magic circus. There has to be.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, like they introduced a little bit of creatures in there, like the Japanese
Kappa
demon.
Was it
water?
demon?
The water demon?
Yeah, Japanese water demon. I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh wait, left. Like,
yeah. Honestly, I thought those were all going to be like collections part of.
And then also, like, what were those? I'm assuming like tiny dragons in that ball.
I think they kind of just
Credence like let loose,
smack,
to
like help escape.
Yeah, well, like what were they?
I have no clue either. I haven't really done. I have to admit, like, I left the movie like upset that after that, like, I just bought the movie because I wanted to get the steelbook because
you're a collector.
Yeah. But not because I was like, whoa, it's the movie. Like, we watched the deleted scenes and we were like, seriously? And like left it at that. I just had no desire to like go back and like dig deep on it. I probably should. Now I kind of want to a little bit more now. To like.
The only thing I ever looked up was like what the deal was with like the overpowered blue fiend fire at the end.
Oh yeah, I actually wanted to ask you guys. I was like, why is his fiend fire blue and?
I just honestly, I just took it as a power augmentation from the Elder Wand. Okay. That's the only thing I could like come up with to justify the overpoweredness of the.
Yeah, because we don't see Voldemort.
Yeah, Voldemort use fiend fire with the Elder Wand.
You know, he does it with his.
And technically, blue fire is hotter than red fire.
So that would be like
it makes
seemingly an upgrade. And then there was like 3 dragons or like gargoyle dragons kind of.
Which I think I made this comment randomly like through last week when we were seeing what is it, Order of the Phoenix? Like Voldemort, when he casts the fiend fire, he's like casting it out of his fucking mouth.
Yeah,
and his snake comes out all HD with like scales.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to see that guy like casting fiend fire with the Elder Wand.
That would have been intense, man. Definitely.
Okay, so
other than that,
final thoughts on
did we talk about Lita?
Do we have to? I'd rather just go on the final thoughts, man.
My one part that I feel like did give her like a little bit of character, it is dumb, but when they're standing like the Newt and Tina are like on with the record part or whatever, hovering, and then Newt's like, okay, they're harmless until she like attacks it, and he's like, till you attack it, she's like, uh-oh. Like, that kind of gave her some character, but I feel like the rest of the movie she's just moping around.
Did Lita attack the...
Yeah, she did I forget what those cats are.
I thought it was Tina that attacked the cats.
No, it was Lita.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, she's the one that attacked them. And, like, I feel like that's the only time when you kind of get, like, a little part of the character.
Oh, yeah. I felt like a little bit of the character came when they had escaped the French ministry, and Tina did the little jingle thing.
No, I'm talking about Lita.
Oh, like Tina did the little jingle thing, and like Lita's just back there, kind of like a little jealous,
yeah.
But like she's like, Lita's supposed to like Newt too.
Okay, so like in reference to that one, she's like, before she dies, she turns around, she says, "I love you."
Yeah.
I think she was talking to Newt.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I like when she turns around and obviously it's Newt and his brother standing like right next to each other, and she's like, "I love you." I want to say it's pretty clear she was talking to Newt. I don't know what you think.
I actually didn't even think about that part.
Oh, really?
In general, and honestly, that just kind of like went over my head.
Oh,
because Newt and the brother were in the scene, but the camera was like focused on the brother.
Really? I disagree. I think the camera was focused on Newt.
You think so?
Yeah, like I think it did it in a way that it was like, we're talking about Newt. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. And honestly, and you know what shocked me about Martin?
What?
Is when Nagini came in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I waited. I was like, what? Like, there's no reaction from Martin, and I looked at him and I was like, bro, seriously? Like nothing? And he's like, what? And I was like, dude, you know who, like, they just said who that was. And he's like, huh?
No, I was like, what? No, hold on, rewind it.
Yeah, how to rewind it, dude.
And then, like, because to be honest with you, I know who Nagini is, but I didn't like, put 2 and 2 together. Like, I heard Nagini, and I was just like, that's cool. And then like when I saw her, she turned into the snake.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, like I was almost upset. Like
you wanted the reaction.
Yeah, like not. Oh, I know who it is. Not like I was more like waiting to see if he liked it or not.
Yeah, whether it was gonna be rage or.
I don't know, but
well, I guess in terms of my reaction, that should tell you that I was kind of like underwhelmed.
Yeah.
With how they introduced her.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was kind of like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
But even though again, Nagini didn't really have that much of a role to play.
She didn't have a role. She was like arms all the time, like just following me.
That's true too. But then again, she did that with
Voldemort.
With Voldemort and with
yeah, but when she's with Voldemort, she's literally a snake and a Horcrux. It literally makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I understand that she had a big role, of course, because she was a Horcrux.
Yeah.
Not just that, but it's like she was like.
But like, well, in terms of
kind of like
character
like
development,
a dog defending like its owner. In a way. Like
she was literally a pet, so.
So it's like I don't know.
Which I mean,
kind of the same.
Like I said, I know it's like a snapshot of like her life technically, but it really like got me trying to think too hard about how did she end up in the zoo where Harry like found her, and then how did she become a Horcrux, and especially a Horcrux to Voldemort, you know? But back to Lita, I don't know, like
to me, I kind of feel like it was kind of cool seeing Lestrange be good.
But why would you say she's good though?
Well, I mean, she kind of like went against the person that was supposed to be bad.
I guess. I mean, she got a lot of shade just for her name alone, but she was a little mischievous. But like I said, she was moping around the whole time, and what really bugged me was when she was with Albus at Hogwarts, and she's like, "Was I that bad a student?" He's like, "No, you were very clever." She's like, "I didn't ask if I was stupid. I asked if I was bad."
I asked if I was bad, not stupid.
Yeah, and I was like, "Bro, come on, like." It's fucking Dumbledore, like, what's he gonna do to you? Like, empathize? Oh no! You know? But,
my family's all Lestrange.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. I have a lot of conflicting feelings about it. I really do, man, I really do. Just genuinely. What else?
No, for sure.
Anything else? What did you think about her, like, kind of how they intertwined the origin story with Credence, and like how she killed her brother? Well, she didn't really kill him, but she kind of set up the death.
I mean, that part for sure was needed. So I liked it essentially, but at the same time, it was kind of like I kind of felt like that was gonna happen anyway. Well, not necessarily that, but I was like, she was gonna be like, "No, you're not my brother. You're actually not my brother." Like,
yeah.
You know. So I don't know. To be honest with you, I can't really give you like too much of a thought.
You know what I mean? Like, okay.
What?
It kind of like went over my head when we were thinking about that, because like she technically didn't mean to kill him, and then she says she didn't, and then Newt steps in and he's like, "Well, you didn't mean to," and she's like, "You've never met a monster you can't love," and it's like,
you didn't love.
Okay, for real? Like, what?
I thought that line was pretty badass.
Yeah, it fit in, like, but to me it's like, you
okay,
see the
good
pain
line,
seeping out.
Good line, good delivery for that character. I don't think it's warranted.
Almost.
Can you just?
Yeah,
not like anything.
You're on the hater, bro.
I
did like it, but in a way it was like.
I mean, because what was her big crime? She accidentally manslaughtered her brother, like
while everybody else was dying on like a sinking ship.
I mean, that's pretty messed up, though. I mean, you really
no, it definitely
messed
is.
up, but like for her to have to like go out of her way to call herself a monster, like
yeah, it's like
I can see a lot of guilt, but like you're living in a world where Grindelwald is actively gaining power.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, I mean, to her, nothing else mattered but that. So that's what I kind of feel.
Oh, no, like circling back to how you said like you felt like she was a good like Lestrange. Now I agree with you because she tried to like attack Grindelwald.
Yeah,
and she like died for it. So it's like you're right. She did try and go against the grain, but you kind of wonder where that came from. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm pretty sure
the
motivation
honestly,
was just
maybe it was through her guilt.
Probably, yeah.
And the fact that her father didn't love her. You know.
Yeah, there's that too.
Maybe he was just like, fuck this, fuck all of this. Like, I don't want to be a part of this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's probably why she was so mischievous,
yeah.
As well, because
just trying to get attention, kind of.
Yeah.
I like how McGonagall, like she took off.
Oh yeah, took off for her thing.
She's horrible. Throws it back on. Like, I wouldn't want to hear you. She got a can it, sweetheart. Like, yeah. How'd you like young McGonagall?
I didn't really see her that much, but I mean, and she didn't really come out, did she?
I mean, she came out in like that flashback, and she also came out when they go into Dumbledore's.
But like it was very, very quick.
Yeah, it was brief.
So hopefully she has a bigger role in the next movie.
Hopefully,
but
I just hope it's not crammed again.
Does it even make sense for her to be there?
Not
I mean, she only comes out twice,
Hogwarts.
and she doesn't do anything.
Oh, well, like within the timeline, like.
Not as far as I know. I don't think so.
Was she even teaching at that point?
I'm pretty sure she was there.
Yeah, she was in Hogwarts.
I think I have to look at that up.
What side note on the actor who played the McGonagall in the Harry Potter movies? Like, you know, she had cancer throughout like the movies.
That's why she wore the hat.
Yeah, that's why she wore the hat. Yeah, the whole time she had cancer. And then and I was like, damn. Like, to me that was great. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like not only did she pull the role off the way she did, it's like she went through all of that. Like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? She was very stubborn about like not leaving the role. Like, very stubborn. From what I've heard.
And she worked that hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it was part of her character. I thought the reason why she didn't take it off was because of her character.
Yeah. Like, she owned it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, if she ever hears it, I mean, she doesn't have to, but, I mean, I would have to say, like, major kudos. You know?
I mean, but other than that, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I mean, yeah,
like, I enjoyed
some plot holes.
Yeah. And not holes, but it was...
And just kind of like force feeding.
Yeah, like, we didn't need this. Like, we literally didn't need Nagini. We did not need it. Like, I almost wish we would have never known her origin story rather than get this.
Yeah, it was already cool when it was the same snake that Harry...
Yeah, like, met at the zoo and, like, kind of released. Because, I mean, he empathized with her, you know?
Yeah.
When he was reading the sign.
Bread and cut, too.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I never knew my parents either. I mean, I can't even remember. I like the new beasts. I didn't like the way the relationship between Queenie and
Jacob went.
Yeah, Jacob, not Tina. Whoa, sisters. I did like where Tina and Newt went. I really enjoyed that, honestly. Like, the whole thing. But
it seemed real, at least.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. A lot for me. What else?
Other than that,
that's about it. I think we kind of covered it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If you are listening, I do have a question. What is your house? And if you got the house you wanted.
Pause it again.
Yeah, so, okay, so last thoughts on the movie, and then we'll move on.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, regardless of what happened.
Because it's still...
It's my totally biased opinion.
Yeah.
Because I am so in love with the whole idea of what this world is, you know, the wizarding world. So, I guess that's just my ultimate biased opinion. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Kenny is disgusted by the
movie.
He's really throwing up right now.
I'm just upset, I guess, is my... I loved it and I hated it, so it makes me upset. But, okay, yeah, moving on. Let's move past a little hiccup. What we were saying that we wanted to talk about was kind of how games influenced, or what games influenced and what games did we grow up with.
Yeah, that was a topic.
Yeah, one thing that I do just kind of quickly want to talk about is, like, I'm really happy they're remaking Destroy All Humans. And I think it's a bit of a coincidence that now they want to storm like Area 51 and all that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a little too cohesive, but I really liked that game when I was a kid. I think I got it when it came out, and I like binged the hell out of it. I still have it.
Just raw him.
Yeah, did you ever play
I actually never really played
No?
it. No,
I love that game so much. Like, I love the weapons, like the upgrades, the story, the character. It was a good game. You actually go to Area 51 in the game.
Really?
Yeah, you
that
do.
whole meme surrounding Area 51.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. You, Kenny, what games influenced you?
There were two main sets of games that I pretty much played when I was little. I'm not sure if you guys know what I'm talking about, but there was these controllers that came preloaded
with games, yeah.
With like a lot of games from the NES. That was pretty much the.
But when did that come out?
Those controllers?
Good, yeah.
Dude, I think they were there since I was
like
minimum 8 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, I know those were kind of rolling out when we were kids, for sure. Cause I remember having
yeah, for sure. Those joysticks
yeah,
and stuff like
I think
that.
there was even a split.
But like those were like, I kind of feel like super late.
What do you mean?
Coming in.
Nah, they were like cheap. The ones I'm talking about was like a cheap Chinese reproduction. That was like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were. I don't even think they were. Any of them were really licensed, to be honest. From what I remember, I'm not even sure. But so that was a little bit of a staple in your childhood.
Yeah, and then after that, I got into the Nintendo 64 one day, and my parents came back from a yard sale, and they came with a black N64 with a lot of games. I don't remember which ones they were.
You don't recall?
No, I think one of them was like the original Rainbow Six. It was for sure Mario Kart.
Damn.
Yeah. I think for one Christmas I actually got like Mario 64 in the box.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What did you do with the box?
I mean, I tore it up. Like,
Jesus.
I tore that shit up.
Wow.
I was not gonna like preserve. That thing was not gonna get preserved.
There's a box that I don't recall where it is. To this day, it still hurts me trying to think about it. And it's the box for Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for the Game Boy SP. For the life of me, I do not remember where I left that box. Because I know, like, when I bought the game, I was like, and I like shelved it. And then since then, it's like I have no clue where that box went, but I do have the game.
Oh, dang, nice. And then after that, I got my PlayStation 1.
Oh, you got a PS1?
Yeah, I had a PS1.
I didn't have a PS1. I jumped straight to PS2.
Oh, dang.
Well, because my cousin had one, and then like PS2 came out, and like my dad was trying to talk to me into it because it's probably cheap. He was like, "Oh, you know your cousin." I was like, "I don't want. I want PS2." Go ahead.
No, what is it? I think my mom got that one off for like $50 from a co-worker, and I think at this point like the PS2 was rolling out.
Yeah.
But I got the PS1, and for that one I played I think what's the alligator game? Croc?
Yeah.
Croc and
I love playing Croc too.
There's this really bad Dragon Ball game that I used to play the heck out of.
Battle 88.
It might have been like it was just some weird like Dragon Ball.
I think that was my first Dragon Ball game was Battle 88 for the PS1. Because I know
it had like the Dragon Ball GT Goku on it for some reason.
I think it was Battle 88. I think.
And so those were the two main games I used to play on that. After that, I graduated to PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360.
Jen, I know you have every console.
And I mean, and PS2 had Kingdom Hearts and Resident Evil 4 and.
Did you finish Resident Evil 4?
I could never finish it. I could never finish it. I got to a point where I was just out of ammo.
You got to Salazar, right?
Yeah, I got to Salazar, and after that I could not progress through the game anymore.
No, I remember. It's funny because that game, one of my best friends from, I think it was in 6th grade, he lent it to me, and my mom didn't let me play any games. So I would wake up like 4 or 5 in the morning to play, and like I'd have the volume like stupid low, and I would just like try and play through the game as much as I could before I heard my mom get up. And it's funny because I remember my sister, like, I don't know if she heard me getting up or she heard the TV or whatever, but she would literally get up groggy as hell, walk over to my room, sit down, and just try and watch the game with me. She was falling asleep.
Oh, wow.
It's it's one of my favorite memories for sure, like growing up. But I had a 64. But I think my mom sold it, probably because I didn't play it. But I knew I didn't have any games for it because I constantly rented Pokemon Stadium. But the game that I did have for it was Cruising USA. I really liked racing games even at that time, but it just wasn't enough, I guess, at the time.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I did have like Cruising USA.
I did have, for sure, I had Cruising USA, because it was like the same as the arcade. But I went from the 64, I had a Game Boy, and I remember I saved my money to buy a Game Boy game, and Pokemon Yellow had just come out, and my grandma and me walked to Kmart, because we didn't have a car at the time. We walked to Kmart, I bought the game, we walked back, and I started playing it, and like 2 hours in, I was like, this was a mistake. Like, I mean, not because like, because I felt like it might have been more like of a, like, I didn't really know what to expect. I was like really young, but it was like, oh, this is an RPG, like, what? And then like you're walking around and trying to get this and level up, and I was like, this is not what I was expecting, honestly.
Yeah.
Game Boys were also a very important part. Those were the ones I bought
What
with
was
my own
Game Boy
money.
Color? Yeah, Game Boy Color, and I had the yellow one. But after that, what? I mean, I can go on about it, but I mean, I'll hover over there for a second. I already said that the PS2 was a gift to me from my dad on my birthday, and then there was this like odd racing game that my uncle gave me, and it was like kind of animals mixed with like the racing car. I don't remember what it's called to this day, and I've never found it, but it was just an odd game. But since it was a racing game, and like I kind of liked the graphics at the time, I was like, I pretty much binged it. But alright, go ahead, Martin.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I started playing video games at a stupid young age.
Yeah.
Before I could walk, I knew I was already playing. I'm trying to think what age. So I would hang out with my uncles, and one thing that you guys have to understand with my uncles is that I wasn't born. So my uncles, I wasn't born. I am a figment of your imagination.
Awesome.
No, I wasn't born like super apart from my uncles. My uncle, the youngest uncle that I have is 2 years older than I am.
Oh wow.
And of course uncles before him. We all grew up pretty close together. So honestly, I would consider them more like brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they're still my uncles. I still respect them at that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we grew up really close. And from what I remember, we had a friend that we'd go over to his place, and we're always playing football. We were always playing like hide and seek. We were like stupid young. And every once in a while, we would go to his place, and he had an Atari. So we would play like Atari. And
damn, she started like really cemented in those.
Yeah. We started playing Atari, and then his dad got him a SNES. And then my uncle we were really young, and he was like 10, and he had saved enough money to buy a 64. So he bought a 64, and when he got 64, those are the games that I initially remember playing, like Star Fox, Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
On the 64, the first game I remember playing outside of the ones that I mentioned was Star Wars Racer.
I didn't play Star Wars Racer.
And then for sure Star Fox.
Yeah, Star Fox. I played the hell out of Star Fox.
Did you like it at the time?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I loved it. Honestly, I loved that whole game. But you know, growing up, we had those games that we would play them, but we didn't play them all the time. You know what I mean? And then when I would go home, my dad bought me a PlayStation, so I got really into Mortal Kombat. That's when I started playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And I was just playing like a bunch of games on the PS1, and then of course once PS2, that's where I discovered Kingdom Hearts. I kind of discovered it really late too, actually. One of the other friends that we would hang out with brought it over to my uncle's, and he was like, "Oh, this game is Kingdom Hearts," and we were just kind of like Mickey and Donald, Donald and Goofy on the cover. We were like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
But then, like, even from the first world, we sat there playing for hours, and we didn't even leave Destiny Island.
Destiny Island.
We didn't leave Destiny Island.
Really?
Because we kept trying to find the last mushroom, and I remember like everyone was like, "Oh my god, we need to find this last mushroom. Like, we need to get out." But he had to leave.
Did you beat Riku in the race?
Yeah, we beat Riku in the race. The oldest uncle beat Riku in the fight the first time.
Oh wow.
So
I was really young,
my uncle was like
7.
The reason why I'm really good at video games is because my uncle is super good
at
video games, and I always kind of like would compete with him, you know. And so yeah. And then from Kingdom Hearts, we would play a lot of Need for Speeds that were coming out. On the PS2 especially, we played a lot of Blacklist. Need for Speed Blacklist. Oh my god, dude, that game is amazing. I honestly thought,
really?
Yeah, I thought
on the PS2, my racing game, and I still have it. And I bought, I think I made my grandma. Well, I didn't make her, but I begged my grandma to buy me the steering wheel and the pedals. For Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition.
We played a lot.
That game was my jam, dude. Like the whole set list for the music, like the freeways, the cities. Like I think in that game it's like San Diego is a map. And I was like, I want to go and live there since that game, you know?
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then PS2, and then that's when I got dumb into the Xbox. Xbox had come out. We bought Halo 2, and
I feel like Halo was a big staple for you.
Yeah, no, that's where I pretty much grew as an FPS gamer. To be honest with you, is the Halo series. What happened was we had some friends that would come over, and we would do these. We would call them Halo parties. They would just 16 of us would get together. 4 people would bring Xboxes and just a shit ton of controllers, and we would stay up all night just playing this LAN party. You know what I mean? Like 4v4s, like 4 teams of 4 going in. And the teams were always switching, man. You would go into a different room, and all right, this is gonna be the team for this, and this is gonna be the team for that. We're gonna do nothing but BR snipes. We're gonna do nothing but sniper. We're gonna do nothing but SWAT. Every once in a while, we would do a lot of glitches. Honestly, dude, that's probably as a gamer, that was probably the happiest part that I've ever been in terms of my gaming experience.
Yeah, I think because then I think you mentioned you guys would buy a gallon Arizona.
Oh yeah, everybody had their own gallon of Arizona tea. My uncle was working at the time; he was banking, so he would buy 20 boxes of pizza, and he would leave them in the kitchen.
That's amazing.
And the thing was that the kitchen and the living room were it's pretty much the same room. Obviously, there were No, they were divided by just wallpaper, so you knew when you were in the, and also by the floor. The kitchen had hardwood floor, the living room had carpet, so you know. But we had a TV set up in the kitchen. We had a TV set up in the living room. We had a TV set up in my grandmother's room, which was right next to the kitchen. So we were always talking. And then there was always a TV set up in my uncle's room, but that was pretty far away. But even then, you wouldn't feel disconnected. You know what I mean?
I see, yeah.
It was just great, man. I remember staying up. Well, I remember one time during the summer, everyone was there for a full week.
Damn.
Just playing, dude. Just honest to God, just sitting there playing, just playing, bro. And that's how I got so good at FPSs. And that's how we all got really good at that whole group of friends. We got really good at Halo. We branch off into any other SPS game. It's because of we kind of faced against each other. And everyone was super competitive, but it was cool competitive because no one ever got in a fight, no one ever got in a fist fight, nothing, none of that. It was all happy, but it was that competitive happiness, dude. It was great. So people started getting really good, and because of that, we started playing against each other, and someone would surpass someone, and then that person would surpass, and then everyone just kept climbing, and to a point where I remember right before we stopped playing for a while, when we would play snipers, you couldn't even pop out your head. If you popped out your head, you had to make sure that you had a shot, because if you missed, you were dead.
Damn.
And you had to be quick, have quick reflexes, and it was beautiful, man. And anytime someone would come over that were, we play Halo and we needed some seats, we'd be like, oh, well, we have this thing, so come play. And obviously, everyone was like, hell yeah, I would tell them what we would do, and how they were like, hell yeah, let's go play, hell yeah. And they would get there, and they were all bummed out because they couldn't get kills.
Oh, I see.
They couldn't do anything.
They were not good.
No, and it's unfortunate, but I mean that's how it went, dude.
The reason.
But even then, dude, a lot of times we had our core 16 players that we would always invite, and we would invite people if we had the seat to fill or whatever. But when the core 16 were there and people wanted to go, they would show up anyway. So sometimes we had the 16 playing, and there was like another 10 people just chilling, like and different rooms watching the game.
Yeah.
So it pretty much became like a community at that point.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal. Honestly, it was great. And I kind of still want to do something like that now, but I don't know how.
I think there's a lot. I think what I've been thinking of doing is kind of getting like groups going, like locally, like Facebook page groups, and like actual people who will meet up like bi-weekly or like monthly.
But I see the thing is that what made us so like great is we were all friends.
Yeah.
The first primary, we're all friends. And I think if we were to start inviting people from outside, you know, like come do this, I kind of feel like there'd be not drama, but there'd still kind of be like that.
True.
And it wouldn't work.
I feel like
as well.
A lot of the times that I've had opportunities to meet people, I've made really good friends. You know.
Yeah.
But circling back to Halo, I remember like we were in 8th grade and our teacher like taught us how to like download Halo and like make our own server and everything. And we were like in class playing, and Martin just fucking wrecked everybody.
But it was different though too, because I mean I would play with a controller, not with the mouse.
Yeah,
and we would play on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was still
a bit of a learning curve, but you still had it though.
Yeah, it was different, but I mean.
We were still talking that honestly. I think if we were to go in, we could still find like the files and servers or something.
No way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. What do you think? We could still find Halo.
Probably in high school, in the high school servers. I don't know.
I know we played for sure in
middle school. I know we did
yeah.
middle school, but I don't know if they would have them in their shit files. For sure in high school though.
Yeah.
Their database.
Do you remember when Iron Man came out and I bought the phone and we were watching TV on my phone?
Yeah.
And it was like the greatest thing ever. Yeah. But little side note.
But yeah, I mean, and then from Halo, I just kind of branched off into so many other games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like so many other games. It's not even. I can't even.
Because so many games have come out, and now with Steam and all of these platforms where people can just upload their game, and then figure out like indie games, people can figure out a way to like market them. Like there's an immense amount of games now, you know.
Yeah.
Like some that obviously you're never gonna know the name of, but some that are like gonna be very well remembered, like Hollow Knight, you know. Like it is an indie game, man. That game was very well made.
But I can agree with that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, right now, what are some games that kind of anchor you guys? Same as
I would have to go with Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts for sure. Because I know I didn't know about it like the first one, but I sure was there for like the releases of the SP, Chain of Memories, and the second one, and like pre-order and everything. But Kingdom Hearts was such a staple in the game in my like gaming growing up, because it had like a lot of like story and like background, and as cheesy as it sounds, like it did give me a sense of like confidence, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just because the game was something to talk about with other people too, you know? Like a lot of friends that like I knew like games were like, do you like Kingdom Hearts? And it was like we had something to talk about, you know? It was a big like conversation and bonding video game that I think has to be a staple in the growth of the industry as well for gaming. Because I mean, even now when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, like you saw everybody come out, you know, like people who hadn't been playing video games, or people who have been playing video games. Like when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, it was a big deal for sure.
What about you, Kenny?
For sure, like how he said, Kingdom Hearts. One thing that I have been missing out, and I keep thinking about it almost on a monthly to weekly basis, is the new Devil May Cry that came out.
Oh man.
Yeah. I've never actually played any of those Devil May Cry series.
You know what, dude? They're so fun. Like the story is complete and utter like teen angst type of.
Almost. It's pretty alright.
Yeah, like it's a very like. It's just that kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
Like Evanescence type of like. Wake me up.
My Immortal type of.
Yeah, like.
Oh god, that's fun.
I love that song.
Yeah, I know. But it's just like so like, oh, I'm gonna cry.
And like the main character's like such a badass, and you just love
Nirvana.
And so I've been really missing out on playing on that game, and I really, really want to. Of course, like the classic Nintendo games always have a...
Yeah, and in terms of classics, a game that I binged was Turtles. My cousin came from Chihuahua and he downloaded a couple games. And one of them was Sonic, and there was a lot of games that he put, but what I for sure binged a lot was Sonic and Turtles. And man, like, even right now, like, I've not even come close to letting go of my, like, obsession with Turtles. I have, like, a lot of comics signed by Kevin Eastman, like the NECA figures and like the video games, like they're like storylines and everything. I don't know, I just really like the camaraderie that Turtle brings, and like the differences in characters between the four of them, and then the ability for them to train and be like ninjas and whatever like weapon they're trying to like master. Like for me, growing up was like a very big deal for sure. Yeah, I have to throw that one into that. Turtles and Sonic were very big for me.
I haven't been able to replay like some of the newer versions of the Nintendo stuff. Like, I'm very hesitant to. Like, I did not want to play Mario Odyssey, and I did not want to play Breath of the Wild.
Why not?
Breath of the Wild, just because it's
kind of a dumb excuse.
It's a really dumb excuse.
No, because I have the same excuse. Yeah. I'm gonna admit.
It's like, it's so open world. It's like,
and it's long.
And it's so long. Like, same for Mario Odyssey. Like, just the fact that I'm gonna have to even the moons required to follow the story feel like too much. I have no idea how I played through Mario 64 as a kid.
It's not honestly. Honestly, what I could say for that is, as a kid, you had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
As of right now, as an adult, you don't.
Yeah, like I'm pretty selective about games that I play, and it's kind of like Netflix. Like, you're binging the same show you've been watching. Like, obviously we talked about on the last episode, we mentioned that I have like over 90 hours on Binding of Isaac. Like, that game and Hollow Knight have probably been like my staple games the last year, for sure.
And honestly, I think that's one of the main reasons why I didn't continue playing Hollow Knight, because like there's still
way more
so much to do, and it's just like I had my fill, and it's not in a bad way. Like, I just don't game as hard as other people do.
Yeah, like, I mean, I used to be all about like trying 100% in platinum, and now I'm like, you know, I finished it, I got like the costumes or whatever that I wanted to, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like before, like I used to look at other people's profiles on PSN, be like, man, this guy's like a level this, like I need to get like more games to like beat him. And it was like kind of dumb, and now I'm just like, like. Games that I for sure platinumed because I wanted to were the Arkham games, but then Spider-Man rolled around, and I think I left off like at 89 or 92%, and I finished the game, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't even need the DLC, you know what I mean? Yeah, but, I mean, because for sure, comic-wise, I am very big Spider-Man and Batman fan, but the Batman games just gave me so much to, like, dig in and, like, look in the crevices of the game itself, like, that I don't feel Spider-Man did for me, you know? But, yeah.
Maybe it's just because of the character.
It's not even that they changed the characters.
No, well, I mean personally for you.
Oh, yeah,
you very big enjoy Batman more than Spider-Man?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But I just feel the game was great, I do have to admit, but it didn't really do anything for me anyway.
Well, that's good. I mean, do you guys have anything else to add before we wrap up?
I'm trying to think of other games that were like
been important.
You know what, Mario Party, for sure.
Oh, well,
yeah,
we're playing right now.
Yeah, Mario Party was very big growing up. Like for me, like it was like all my cousins like getting together and like we try and take turns on the different turns with characters.
Oh, I remember respecting the heck out of Mario Party just because like. The blister you would get in the middle of your palm was too much.
Trying to like turn
what's
the 64, man. Yeah, like I think when we found that mod for that you can add GameCube joystick
it's almost not even fair to play with that controller. Like I should really handicap myself when I'm playing with it, but like there's no reason. Like I don't like the blister.
Love you.
Bless you. Bless you.
One more. There you go.
Come on,
Kenny's dog is just
sneezing
over there.
He's allergic to us. No, I'm just kidding.
All the bullshit that we keep spewing out.
He's allergic to himself. Anywho,
I didn't really grow up with the Zelda games.
Me either.
Oh, I grew up heavily on Ocarina of Time. That's what you have in your 64. Just plug right now.
Yeah. Well,
I grew up so hard on that.
I think we have a couple versions, but for sure that version's like the one where it actually has the blood, and it's not as censored. But I think Doom for sure.
I actually didn't.
I love Doom. Like when we picked it up for the SNES again, I was just like, oh my god, I was just playing.
Yeah, well, the other night we were playing.
No, I think that specific Doom game we've had since like last November. Yeah. We've had it for like.
Really? That's the first time I saw you guys. Like came in, you guys. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, no, because we were probably testing the SNES because I know for sure in terms of consoles, SNES is the one like that's first to go.
Yeah. And then Smash has always been
to
me.
Oh my god. Sure,
yeah, Smash has always been a part of my life.
For sure, Smash. Like, Smash and Mario Kart, I think, were the two games that kind of caused me and my uncles to start being like super competitive against each other growing up. It was Smash.
I think those games Mario in Kart. General like
bring out the competitive.
Yeah, and anybody like people like talk down to you if you don't like if you have a different main from them. You know what I mean? And like everyone wants to main Yoshi, what bugs the hell out of me. I'm one of them, but yeah. I mean, I will admit what I did like on the new one is like you get to choose the different colors of Yoshi, so that's pretty cool. But like on the original one, it's like one person gets Yoshi and that's it. It's like, bruh. I ain't gonna use Toad.
That's true. I mean, to be honest with you, growing up, I always wanted to use Yoshi, but I was the youngest one out of my uncles, of course. And they would always pick. So I was always either Toad or Peach or Bowser. I was always just like rotating characters because I didn't know.
Well, because like Yoshi's like I feel it's like the cute character to like, but the reason I like Yoshi is because I grew up playing Super Mario World.
Okay.
Yeah, so to me, like, Yoshi is Yoshi, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, if there were two Mario games that I literally, like, binged, is also going to be Super Mario World and Super Mario 3. For sure. I mean, to this day, like, I'm always playing Super Mario 3 as much as I can, every now and then. I know even now I don't remember very many of, like, the secrets and this and that, but I just try and play through it as much as I can, for sure.
You know, the funny part is, like, I love Kirby, but I've only recently, like this year, have I started playing in any of the Kirby games. But the reason I love Kirby was because of original Smash. Like,
the Kirby games are really good.
Yeah. I've never played any of the Kirby games.
Yeah, like, I have to, like...
They're pretty fun.
Yeah, like, but they did very well for the mechanics and his characters, like, playability and powers. Like, it's very good.
Like, I actually want to buy, like, the collection for the Wii that came out a couple of... years ago.
Well, not a couple. It's been a while.
And then I also got like Brawl. That was my next. I skipped mainly because I didn't have a GameCube.
Yeah, I didn't have a GameCube either.
But for sure, Brawl. Like my Wii got abused for Brawl. Like it was my Brawl machine.
Same here. And Mario Kart. You know, Star Wars Knights of the Republic.
Oh, you were...
I didn't play it.
I never played it either.
I think it just like turned... I don't know how, but like the anniversary's like around this time. But man, like now that they released a trailer for the new game, I'm just like, please be as good. Please be as good.
Please be as good. Or for you be better.
I mean, for sure, but I mean, for it to be as good, I'd be very content.
I guess so.
Anything else?
That's pretty much about it.
For right now, yeah.
Later on, we'll come back and we'll have more stories. Right now, we just kind of gave a very brief general overview or some of the key points.
Yeah, I like to do about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, I can honestly go on about
for
myself, like a good hour just talking about like the whole experience with it.
I would like to go back and just talk about Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, for sure. Because even there's a lot of in my collection. There's a lot of figures that I do have.
Like I reserved Birth by Sleep for the original PSP. And I traded in a shit ton of games I shouldn't have, but I traded them in.
Oh my god.
So I could reserve it.
No, I talked my grandma into getting the second one for me for my birthday. And the manual. And I still have the manual and the game. Well, so, alright, so this is Javi signing off.
Go ahead.
Captain Kenny signing off.
And Martin, thanks for coming and listening to us if you guys are. And Kenny doesn't like The Last of Us.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Mark! Don't you do that! Don't you do that!
I'll see you guys.
No.